welcome to my video. This is going to be my thoughts on Andor, Season 2, Episode 3, Harvest. The episode is probably rated TV-14, or TVMA. This video will be rated TV-14. Like all other episodes of this show, absolutely love this one. Love a good chunk of official Star Wars media in general. There will be spoilers for the episode and everything Star Wars leading up to it. Let's dive right in. So, yeah, I think I'll just briefly talk about really sad to see Brasso go. The moment that he was caught in the field, you know, yeah, it was so. I really hoped that he would make it. You know, I took one look at him and I was like, there's a man outstanding in his field. And this thing of, you know, he realizes it was Keller, I think his name was, you know, uses up and then have us arrested, you know, and this is something that has actually happened. And yeah, a guy I was not unhappy to see go, I'm sorry, there's so many names, so many characters on this show. The guy who tried to rape Bix. Yeah, I'm not seeing a name I recognize as... Oh, Kroll, maybe? I think it was Lieutenant Kroll, yeah. Yeah, you know, he acknowledges, well, you know, the farmers need the extra help. So, you know, in come the undocumented. And then he makes it out like, oh, you know, woe is me. I have to make the decision. Yeah, you're not the one being shipped off to El Salvador, dude. And yeah, in my video on the episode before this one, I was not sure if he was flirting with Bix or like threatening her, or yeah, I guess a bit of both is what we find out here. He always intended to rape her. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's possible that if she had given herself to him willingly, that he would have been okay with that, but there are a number of misogynists who genuinely express the view that if it's not, you know, if she consents, then it's no longer sex. But yeah, that was genuinely, and I really appreciate the episode actually coming out and having Bix say it, he tried to rape me. You know, not, you know, tiptoeing around it or anything. And yeah, just an incredibly tense scene. Like the moment that you really, you know, when he says, "I know you're undocumented," you know, like the fact that he hasn't started arresting her, you know, we can immediately tell where this is going. And yeah, you know, she manages to hit him in the head with several heavy things, including like a tool or two, and you know, the struggle, it felt so real, like authentic, which just made it hit all the harder. You know, there are a number of Hollywoodized scenes of someone fighting off of a rapist or would-be rapist. I'm not saying that I ever really have, like, in real life, I think violence should always be our last recourse. I will say rapists are that's one of the situations where I sometimes really struggle to hold on to that principle, but we have seen, you know, violence doesn't actually, you know, long-term solve these problems. But yeah, it tends to be cathartic to see rapists, you know, dealt with brutally. That's one of my favorite parts of the, you know, I suppose I won't say exactly which one, but at least one of the Sin City movies and some of the books that those are based on. But yeah, here it's not glamorous, it's not cool, it's just upsetting to watch, you know. It's a relief when she does succeed, but yeah, and that was, it was such a great, you know, like he stumbles out, falls over, and you know, the other guy doesn't even react. He's like, I'm sorry, even if I'd like to think that that would be my, are we the baddies moment, if, you know, like, what purpose would she have to lie? Why would she say he tried to rape me? Most of the Empire isn't going to care, you know. So just, yeah, and you know, the let's see, crap, what was, there was some kind of, something distracted him, and then she like shoots him with like the Star Wars equivalent of a shotgun. So badass. Yeah, if you're gonna try to protect a rapist, yeah, you're what's the word? You're culpable. So yeah, shotgun blast. And yeah, the thing with, you know, oh no, I left my speeder out there, you know, just, yeah, and Winston and Bix, you know, shout out for Cass, and Cass is like, you know, and that was also, yeah, the fact that they actually let it sit a little, rest on the fact that, yeah, Bass, you know, I'm sorry, all these names. Was it Basso or Brasso, yeah. You know, him having died, yeah, the fact that, you know, because there's a lot of death in these stories. A lot of the time they move on pretty quickly, but yeah, you know, Cass always losing his found family to the Empire. Let's see, and the yeah, I think I can't be the only person who thought Brasso's kind of like a, like a big bear, like, you know, yeah, takes care of people. Looks like he probably gives great hugs, you know. Is that why he's the one who dies and then they actually rest on it? Because normally that kind of thing in Star Wars, official Star Wars, is reserved for Ewoks. Anyway, yeah, the some great stuff with B2 Emo. The loved seeing him play with the kids, like, oh, clear the way, you know, just the kids are loving it, like, oh my, playing with a robot must be such fun. Just, yeah, yeah. It was like the what's the word? It's like fun uncle, or wait, is that a sarcastic term now? I can't keep up. Yeah, you know, the family member that plays with the kids at like a family, you know, yeah, party. Um, and you know, yeah, when he talks to Brasso, and yeah, you know, I forget if I've mentioned it before, but certainly Jesse Gender has pointed out, characters on this show actually treat B2 Emo as a person. They, you know, Star Wars, you know, instead of me reiterating it, I will recommend you watch, if you haven't already, or this is a great time to rewatch, Pop Culture Detectives: The Tragedy of Droids in Star Wars. You know, usually they aren't treated as people. B2 Emo, you know, the people close to him treat him like a person. You know, and he grieves like a person. You know, he wants Marva. And let's see, yeah, you know, talking to Brazio, you should have told me sooner. And he's not like, shut up, droid. He's like, I'm telling you now. You know, he's talking to the droid like he would talk to a human being. Some great stuff at the party. You know, the yeah, Mon starts to drink more, and you know, the dancing, which actually the official Star Wars YouTube channel put up like a, I haven't watched it, but I'm thinking loop. I think that's what they do for those, like 2 hours of Mon Mothma dancing, which, I'm still getting used to the fact that corporations have gotten in on that. Like, it used to be something fans would make, you know. But yeah, but yeah, the thing about, you know, oh nope, he's talking to Skulldon, and he's like, you know, this whole situation, we're gonna have a conversation about this in a few days, you know. And he leaves, and you know, Vel follows and then sees Cinta, and there's like, clearly Cinta sees her and just gets in, and her also with the fake smile. Oh, this show with people and fake smiles, like, are they making Smile 3? Because I feel like this is like the demo reel for it. Just such, you know, this is a show that understands that the fact that you can see a person's teeth does not mean that they are genuinely smiling at someone. You know, Dedra also has an absolutely, yeah. I don't think I want to see someone Gestapo smile ever again, whether it's real world or Star Wars equivalent. Now, let's see. Yeah, yeah. You know, Cinta, like, you know, oh, aren't you taking over for the... Oh, yeah, yeah. The other person caught a really bad case of death. I mean, flew. They flew right into a wall, and it wasn't because I had remotely taken control of their vehicle. So, where would you like to be buried? I mean, go. And just, yeah. Vel said, Luthen knows. You know, Luthen knows what happened. Where Cinta is, won't say. And yeah, you know, this is a situation where if Vel had been told, oh, by the way, Cinta's gonna be there, I think, you know, I think there's a chance that Luthen, you know, Cinta was surprised herself, so she either didn't know Vel would be there at all, or didn't think that she would, you know, be there so close to yeah, to Tay-Tay. But yeah, I think Luthen might genuinely believe if Vel knows, she's gonna blow it. She's gonna walk up, oh, Cinta, I missed you, and that might, you know, yeah. Let's see. I think that might more or less, right. And yeah, Mon's just trying to help Leda, and Leda's like, I wish you were drunk. You know, and it is true. It takes more bravery to call off a wedding that you aren't ready for, or maybe it's to the wrong person, than it does to go through with it, you know. And let's see. Yeah, I really like that there's stages to the wedding. You know, the bride and groom dance in a very different way than the guests, which I gotta say, it's been a long time since I went to a wedding, but I hear that is a thing for a lot, you know, yeah. I guess the last time I saw a wedding was in End of Watch, which did look fun. Oh, and Ms. Marvel, obviously, the miniseries. Anyway, yeah, I think that covers the wedding. Right. Also, Luthen being like, so he's talking to Skulldon, and we're gonna deal with this. Just, and let's see. I think that does completely cover. Yeah, I kind of appreciate Tay-Tay. Genuinely, he's just so used to having enough power and being untouched by all this bad stuff. Like, he knows that there's, you know, this, yeah, there's conflict. He's helping out one side of the conflict, even though that side is illegal. He genuinely doesn't think that it's going to hurt him to be talking to Skulldon, to be making these more or less vaguely threatening statements to Mon. Now, I think... Right, yeah, the thing with Cass, you know, he's fiddling with the wires, and I feel quite confident he was not strapped in. He manages to fiddle with the wires, and it flies, like, yeah, he definitely got thrown around in there, poor guy. And yeah, manages to contact Luthen's office. and gets his colleague, again, I'm sorry, I do not remember all these names. I mean no disrespect to her character. She's awesome. And yeah, the thing about, no, I have to, yeah, it was very in character for both of them. And let's see, him pointing out, did anyone know this is not the vessel I trained to fly? Because that, yeah, it caused a lot of problems. Let's see. And he also points out, the drop was compromised. There's a lot of problems here. I think that covers Cass. Let's see. Oh, right. His rescue. Holy crap, that was cool. Because, yeah, the Imperials are like, oh, it's the prototype. It's the prototype fighter. Very cool. We're getting... I hadn't been informed we were getting, any kind of reinforcements at this point. But, yeah. Oh, hey. There's like, a red thing leaving it, and it's coming right... Oh, no. Yeah, let's see. I think that does pretty well cover all other than Cyril, Dedra, and I'm gonna see if I can at least find her name, because I think I'll recognize it. Edie. Yeah. I gotta say, okay, so her name, the actress, is Catherine Hunter. Phenomenal job. I really gotta see her in more stuff, because just absolutely amazing on this show. And I've heard great things about some of her other work. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Edie, Dedra, and Cyril. So yeah. This was indeed the first time that Edie and Dedra meet. And yeah, there's just so many wonderful... I love her performance. I love the writing and all these little things, and the way that this thing of, like, they're preparing for her arrival, and Cyril, like, stops and he stares and he adjusts the little, like, fork thing just, like, I don't know, 2 centimeters or something, and it's like, the way he's staring, you would think that there was, like, something dangerous in front of him, but, yeah, that's his character, especially when dealing with his mom. Yeah, I think that does pretty well cover, the thing with, yeah, Edie comes in and it's like, so, I'm Dedra. Finally we meet. Finally indeed. You are nothing like what I thought you would look like. Aren't you wondering what I thought you would look like? Just... No, Edie. It was very purposeful that she did not ask a follow-up question to that. But thanks for bringing it back up, because, like, the awkwardness levels, I mean, yeah, they are, like, already, like, at the roof, but why not shoot him through the roof into the stratosphere? Holy crap. Yeah. And poor Sarah's like, Mom, you're dripping, just like, we put a lot of effort into this, and you're dripping on the, just, yeah. And with the dessert comes out, and she's just like, she's worried there might be a big, solid object in there, and she just wants to find it before she accidentally just, yeah. And like, pointedly, Dedra just, like, uses her spoon to, like, slice a little bit off and then eat that, just, yeah. Right, I did briefly also want to say, really loved how, like, the mood is actually quite good at the, like, farm party, and then it's like, oh, Imperials, and then, faces fall. you know, yeah, like a lot of people, you know, can have very happy lives when, you know, a dictatorship isn't ruining it. But yeah, the at one point, you know, it just becomes too much for Cyril, so he's, you know, excuse me, and yeah, he just lies down on the bed, you know, why did I agree to this? Just, yeah. And Dedra giving like the Gestapo, or I guess in universe ISB version of, I don't know if it has a name, but it is a thing that I have heard a lot of, you know, brides have had to, or I guess I don't know if they're married. Okay, a lot of female partners have had to have with their mother-in-law or mother-in-law to be, or, you know, of this thing of like, you're gonna, you know, you are making your own, you know, son sad. That's not okay with me. You know, we can go no contact. That's gonna hurt him and me less than it's gonna hurt you. Or you can, you know, be, yeah, you know, I have a different plan. And when I say plan, it sounds like it's optional, and it's not. You know, you are going to start thinking before you speak. Just like, yeah, amazing. See, there it is actually genuinely. It's extremely rare for me to side with Gestapo or equivalent. But yeah, that was pretty badass. That's something where, you know, if you could pick that part out and put in, just, yeah. Right, and I also really appreciated, you know, we're told, you know, oh, I don't have a family. They were criminals. They were arrested when I was 3, and I grew up in a kinder something, you know, like, yeah, forcibly, you know, we had everything we need except the loving mother. Edie, you are not giving the best sales pitch for the loving mother right now. But yeah, you know, and nothing delicate about that. And also this thing of like, yeah, her, you know, in her mind, in the mind of the Empire, failure in season 1, you know, near the end, there's probably some people looking at her saying, I told you, you know, daughter of criminals, can't trust them. So she really does have to prove herself with this whole Gorman thing. Like, even more reason why she can't turn it down. But yeah, incredibly badass when she just lays it out for Edie. Just, I will make sure that he visits, was it twice a month? I will make sure he calls. As long as you do as I say. And you know, afterwards, like, Cyril's like, what's happening? What's going on? I hear laughter. My mom doesn't laugh. Dedra doesn't laugh. Is this a dream? Is this a nightmare? You know, but yeah. And she, evidently, you know, Edie agreed. You know, Dedra finishes her laying out of the plan. Now, I want you to think very long and hard, Edie, before you respond. Because your honesty is going to make or break this relationship. Listen very carefully. Would you like more dessert?